Well, I just came up on one. I've only been walking for like 5 minutes. Just got down in here. All the snow is melted off literally in the last 2 days. It's like 50 degrees out. We're just entering peak shed season here, late February, early March. And man, it really feels nice out. It's literally 50 degrees. Right there. Man, it's probably an old one. No way. I know it looked pretty white. Well, that one's completely chewed up by coyotes. Every single tine has coyote tooth marks on it. A little bit of squirrel damage. Interesting. I was in here like middle of March last year and seen like a buck about like this still holding. It could be that one or it could be a different one, a late drop or something, but right on top. This one's been being moved around. The grass ain't even grown over it. That honestly could be 2 years old. It's probably just last year's drop. Kind of a nice little 2.5-year-old. Well, at least I got one here tonight. But that's a good sign. Hopefully I can come out of here with at least one more. Man, every year it just amazes me how lucky you can get out here in the woods sometimes. I'll show you exactly what happened. So I was heading up like this, and then I got to here, and for whatever reason, something in my head turned me around like this to walk into the sun. There's my other shed. And you can't even, right there it is, the one I just stumbled upon. But I didn't see it because I'm looking in the sun, I'm looking over there, looking further out. I'm just looking like this. I didn't see it until right here. I literally almost stepped on it. I just looked down and boom, that was the first time I seen it. Unbelievable. Let me get a few pictures. And you can hear that machine running over there. I don't know what exactly it is, but there's a big construction site just right over here. So all this commotion, I didn't know if there'd be a whole lot of deer in here, but this has probably been on the ground a while. Clearly has a busted G2 there. Nice 2-year-old. Really wonder how long that G2 was. His G3 is pretty nice. Pretty good genetics. Oh, look at that. There's some squirrel chew marks right here. And it was laying tines down, so it's probably fell right in here somewhere, but it's been turned around a couple times maybe. Squirrels started on it, but pretty good color. Might have been probably buried under the snow for the last week or two, who knows. Awesome. Well, if that's all I come out of here with, I'll be plenty happy with that. I generally only find like one in here every year in this spot, but awesome. I literally just stopped right here and was like, man, this looks good. Boom, right there's a shed. Crazy. It's just a little one, but it's a fresh one and it still counts. I mean, you can tell this one's been down a while. It's fresh and even the leaves are like blown over it. And this was under the snow for sure. But literally every once in a while you'll find a shed, and literally seconds before you just stop and think, man, this is a good spot for a shed, and then you find one. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but that happens more than you'd think. Interesting. So I literally just camped on another one down in here, another small one. This is by far the best I've ever done in this spot. So just slowly working my way back to get out of here, and I glanced over and I saw something that looked like a tine. From here I thought it could have been an old one sticking up through the grass, but nope, it's a little freshy. And you can see how like dark it is. Like you could tell this thing has been completely covered in snow for a while, all waterlogged. I might hit this spot again. I didn't even finish. This is a pretty good sized area. It wraps around all these subdivisions and stuff, but I might hit this again into some of the other areas one day this week, see if I can get lucky. But I don't think too many people have walked this section too hard, so got lucky tonight. These definitely aren't a match, even though it kind of looks like it. This one's got too much mass in here. But the main giveaway is the base. Even on these little young deer, these bases are too different. Like this one has more burr and is a little smaller. This one has less burr and is, you know, a little bigger. But in all reality, I mean, I'm only like a couple hundred yards away from that hardwoods area where I found this one. But definitely two different little bucks. Well, I just literally proved my point again. I was talking yesterday about when you get into an area that's really good, and then you get into a really, really good spot, and you're like, man, any moment I could just find something. That's exactly what happened again here. So I was going up along this edge, and I saw this little tiny patch of grass and a tiny little elevation rise, and it kind of flattens off, and then it continues to go up more. So I just, you know, came over here just to take a quick peek before I kept cruising along that edge, and then boom. Looks like a nice 2.5-year-old. This grass right here is basically what got my attention. And I mean, there's just poop in here everywhere. I just seen a whole bunch of deer go flying out of here. At least 10 of them. Wow, that's actually nicer than I thought. That's a 5-point side probably. I'll get a few pictures and I'll pick it up. Not even a chew on it. It's probably pretty fresh. Awesome. Yeah, that's a really nice 2-year-old. There's hardly any weight to it. Pretty light antler, but he's got the height. He's got decent spread already at 2. That's got to be just a 2-year-old. Base pretty small. Not any blood on it, but other than that, it looks pretty fresh. Man, that's awesome. I figured I'd find at least one here tonight, but we'll see. It's about 4:30. I got about hour and a half left. Awesome. Well, that was quick. I guess I would have found one either way. Right down here on this transition, I know every year they like to bed right out here overlooking the swamp grass. As people come from, this is the main direction everybody comes from and parks and comes in here. And I was here in like late January and I was seeing a whole bunch of small bucks holding. I didn't even see anything like this, but I seen like at least 4 to 5 1.5 years, and here's one of them right here. Here, I'll show you. I was right on this trail right here, heading up, and I cut over there. The other one was right there by that grass, and this one's right here. Kind of funny how it's laying. Not even chewed. I figured maybe a squirrel drug it up like that. That's cool. This one looks a little fresher. A little bit of redness on the base. Oh yeah. That broke off pretty kind of deep on the base. But yeah, another one. Well, that's a really good sign. The snow literally all, like I said yesterday, the snow literally all melted off just like a day or two ago. So if anybody walked through here in the weekend, they might have missed some of these. It's definitely harder in the snow. I mean, I seen both these from 10+ yards. So this could be another good night. We'll see. Well, that's it. Just ended up finding those two. I ended up finding more boot tracks in that hardwoods, so I'm sure there was a few more in there, but didn't end up finding anything else. That's just unbelievable. I found these two in like 2 minutes. I thought I would have found at least one more, but that's it. So, well, I just came up on one. I almost missed it. So maybe 10 minutes ago I walked along the edge of the woods up there and then came back down. Now I looped back around and I was gonna head up this way, and then I was just about to turn around and keep going down, and then I noticed, boom, right there. Looks like another nice, decent 5-point side off of a young buck. Oh yeah, really nice young buck. You get a few pictures. That's a really nice young deer right there. It's kind of interesting how it has some dirt on the top of that tine. Maybe it fell and poked into the ground and then flipped over. I don't see any coyote chew marks on the tine, so this is definitely where it fell, so nice. Yeah, pretty fresh looking, not super fresh, but yeah, that's a nice, even a pretty good brow too on him. Not a huge frame, but man, I would assume this year he should grow a ton. And he's got the genetics of a future giant. Awesome. Well, once I found that first one, I knew that there was definitely a chance of coming up on another one. I just found one. It's been like maybe 20 minutes, but I'm only like probably 75 yards from where I found this one. Just heading back up the hill, glanced over, right there. This one looks a little bigger, probably another 2-year-old, but an 8-pointer. Look at that, there's like some fresh chewing. It's like sawdust. The bone is literally just like laying there like sawdust from the frickin' squirrels. Look at it, all the bone shavings on the ground right there. From fresh chewing right here. Wow, a little bit of chewing right there. I'm lucky this one wasn't chewed. It doesn't look like it's been on the ground too long. Maybe a little bit longer than the other one. Yeah, that's some really fresh chews right there. And this one, it just has no weight to it at all. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't break off one of these points. Broke off a little bit hard there on the skull cap. Anyways, that's nice. Oh my God, right here. That's gotta be the other side. That's a left, this is a right. I found that right on camera. This one's not chewed at all. It's in a little thicker stuff here. I'll get a picture of this one at least. Awesome. See how that broke off kind of similar? How it's like, you know, broke off more on the top like that? These bucks will keep that, you know, characteristic trait from year to year. Like if you found a shed and you didn't quite know it was him, like 2 years ago or something when he looked quite a bit different. But this deer would be pretty recognizable. And he's got the really, really small brow characteristic. He'd keep that. He might turn into like a 9 or a 10-pointer, who knows, but the base is almost always the most telltale sign. It's like a fingerprint. Both these sides broke off kind of hard on the top section of the base. Like that. Interesting. Well, that made the night well worth it for sure. I was happy just to find one. I can't believe it. Just came up on another one. I'm only like probably like 20 or 30 yards away. I just did another loop. I'm gridding this woods as hard as I possibly can right now. Oh my God. Look at this. Right on the trail. I mean, I've said in the past, you don't find many right on the trail like that, but when you do, I mean, it is super obvious. Wow. Oh man, is that fresh. Look at that. That's the freshest one. It's got a weird velvet injury right there. I gotta get a couple pictures before I pick it up. All right, here we go. Wow, look at that. I bet you that's a 3-year-old. It's not, there's even some bark on the base there from rubbing yet. Big weird injury right there from velvet. Wow. Not a single chew on this one. But yeah, I'd say that's no more than a 3-year-old. That's too big to be a 2-year-old, I think. Here, I'll show you the size comparison here. It's quite a bit bigger than these other ones. Not a whole lot bigger, but just more mass. Wow. That's way more than what I expected to find tonight. I knew this is a good area and I'd found some here in the past, but I figured I'd find at least something. But man, this is more than what I thought.